Good morning, IPA. This is Miss Bessie from IPA Eats. And today we're going to do a lunch or dinner meal. And it's called chicken fettuccine. Now, usually I use my fresh ingredients and I make everything from scratch. But for the sake of time, we're going to do it the quick and easy way. Because moms, I want you to be able to prepare a meal. I know a lot of you guys are working, you're still doing your job, you're dealing with the kids, and you got the classroom time that you're putting in too. So I want this to be quick and easy for you. So we're going to start off by making chicken fettuccine. This should not take but about 10-15 minutes. And you can use this meal for lunch or dinner. Alright, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to wash my hands. And I use my dish soap when I'm cooking. So I'm going to wash my hands here. Get it all clean and ready to go. And parents, since we're going to be using chicken, I suggest that you wipe your sink down with bleach water. I use bleach water. Anytime I'm using raw meats and I have to clean them in my sink, I use bleach water after I clean. Okay? So, come on over. Let's get started. Now, we're going to go over our ingredients first. This is classic ragu Alfredo sauce. You can use any kind that you want or any kind that you like. I got Parmesan, shredded Parmesan, and you can also get the block of shredded Parmesan if you want it to be more fresh and use it. I got fine sea salt, crushed red pepper because I like a little heat, garlic powder, and this garlic powder has a little pepper and some other seasonings in it, and I like that. We've got poultry seasoning, and I'm going to add a little Cajun seasoning. And you need to go light on these seasonings because the pepper and the Cajun seasoning does have heat. And then this is for the little umami, the nutmeg. The meat that I'm using today is called the fajitas chicken thighs. And this particular brand has seasoning in it, so you don't have to put a lot of seasoning, Mom. And then I've got 2 onions that I've chopped up, and I'm not going to use all of the 2 onions. And I also have butter. Okay? And then we come over here to the chicken. The thighs are, they're going to be big. They're about like this or a little bit bigger. And it's got a little fat on it. And you can leave that fat because that's going to give more flavor to your dish. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and chop this down. I'm going to cut it up in strips. And then I just cut it into bite-sized pieces. I cut it into bite-sized pieces so that we can enjoy, you can enjoy the mouthfeel. You don't have to worry about getting too much chicken at one time, okay? And I've got the grandbabies over today, so if it get a little noisy, that's what's going on. You guys need to go back into the other room, please. Go. Now, so I got my chicken all cut up here, and I'm going to start off with lightly sea salt, lightly, because remember I told you this already has seasoning on it. And then we're going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper for heat, because I like a little heat to my dishes. I like a little heat to my dishes. And then we're going to add the garlic powder, and remember the garlic powder has some other seasonings in it too, so you don't want to go too heavy on it. But if you like garlic, do what you like. Because my thing is, if I was at work, I would be using the fresh chicken. I would boil my own chicken, and then I would season it up the way that I like. Now, this is poultry seasoning. I'm going to add a little poultry seasoning to this, and add a little poultry seasoning. And then I'm going to add the Cajun seasoning. And remember I told you, Cajun and seasoning. We usually use, if I was at work, I would be using the Tony Catchers. Tony Catchers have, it's a little spicy. This one, this is a new one that I'm using, so I'm not sure about it yet. But, and then I'm going to give you the nutmeg. And then I'm just going to put lightly, and then I'll add a little bit more nutmeg after we get the sauce in there. Okay, so you just mix that all up. And then I'm going to wash my hands, and we're going to go over, and we're going to get started on, get the skillet. Should already have that on, but it won't take but a few minutes here. So we're going to get the, I'm going to take the butter. I'm going to take about a half a stick of butter. And we're going to put that in the skillet here. Turn my skillet on. Okay, about a half a stick. And I'm going to turn this down to probably about a medium on the burner. I'm going to let my butter melt. Okay? And while the butter is melting, I'm going to go ahead and get my spaghetti ready. So let me put this down. And I'm going to come back and you do your spaghetti. I got fettuccine noodles here. You can use spaghetti in this dish. You can use angel hair pasta, whatever you need. And also, you don't have to use the chicken. You can use chicken, you can use shrimp. And I always I'm so used to breaking it in half because when the kids are eating, they have these long spaghettis and they don't know what to do with them. So we're going to I always break them in half. But for this week I'm going to try and we'll just put them in here and let them cook. Now, my butter is just about melted. So I'm going to let the spaghetti cook. I got a little salted water here. And it's up to a boil, so it'll be finished in no time. I got my butter. And be careful with this. I got cook's hands, guys, so I can touch a hot pan and it don't too much affect me anymore. As you can see from all the burns on my arms and that, I'm used to it. So now I'm going to go get my chicken and my onions, and I'm going to put that in that pan. Take all my chicken, take my onions over here, and I'm going to use my little knife. And we're going to put this in the pan to get it going. First I'm going to put in the chicken. So, and I might not use all of this chicken. That's a lot of chicken, so might not use it all. I think I can use about half of this. I'm going to use about half of that. I don't think I need all of that, so. We got the chicken, and now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the onions. And I'm probably going to use about half of these onions too. And some people don't like onions, so if you don't like onions, maybe the onion powder will give it the flavor that you need. And if you don't like onion powder, I'm telling you, you got to have something to give it that flavor. So if you don't like the raw onions cooked into your food, use the onion powder. So now we're going to let this cook. And we got our noodles cooking here. And like I said, for the kids, I break the noodles in half. That's just something that I do because I notice, and I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit more. I noticed that the kids, when they were at the school, when I first started there, I would give them the long noodles, the whole noodles, and they would be sucking for days trying to get those noodles in. So I just broke them in half. And we're going to let this cook down. We'll let it continue to cook, and I'll leave it alone so it can start cooking down. Once this cooks down, then I'm going to start adding my seasonings. In fact, I can start doing that now. So I'm going to start bringing my seasonings over and add them one at a time. place these over here just in case I need to add a little bit more. So I got my seasonings here by the stove now, and I can adjust my seasonings as I need to. Okay, beautiful. The onions are becoming translucent, and that's what you want to see. The onions are becoming translucent, and then the chicken is cooking down. And I'm not going to take, you see, if you get a closer look, you can see the sauce in the bottom of the pan, or that little bit of liquid from the butter from cooking the chicken. And I'm not going to take that out. I'm going to use that to help with the flavoring of the fettuccine. The sauce, help with flavoring of the sauce when we get done with this. And Mom, this is quick and easy. You can use it for lunch or dinner. And you can use, usually I would boil my chicken. I would boil it. But for the sake of time, I'm using the fajita thighs. But I would usually boil my chicken and then chop it into pieces and then put it in the sauce. And I usually make my sauce from scratch. And it's just a regular bechamel sauce that you would make up. Make the bechamel sauce, and once your chicken is shredded, put it in there, add the bechamel, add your garlic, your onions, and you got a good dish. A good flavorful meal in just a few minutes. Okay, the onions are translucent. The chicken is just about cooked here. As you can see, the chicken is just about cooked. So I'm going to let that cook, and now I'm going to go over and I'm going to get my sauce. And like I said, I've got my Ragu Classic Alfredo sauce. You can use any Alfredo sauce that there is out there on the market. And like I said, that, or you can make your own bechamel sauce. And that's what I usually do when I'm cooking a home meal. But for the sake of time, and I know you guys are limited and stretched to the max, but this would make a good dinner. You throw some broccoli with this. Get yourself some steamed broccoli or any type of steamed vegetable and put with this. And you got a nice supper, Mom. Got a nice supper. And what I also did was I took some Italian bread. I'm going to go rinse my jar out, and I'll be right back in a second. Now, I also got my Parmesan cheese while I was over there. So, here we go. I just put a little bit of water in the jar because I like to try to get everything out of there. Get as much of that out as I can. Now, I'm going to taste this and see if I need to add anything else to this sauce to make it taste a little better. Oh, I might need to add a little bit more nutmeg, but I'm going to taste it first. Just dip the spoon in. If you like the taste of it, that's fine. I think I need a little bit more nutmeg. So I'm going to add just a little bit more nutmeg. And you can use, when I do my chicken fettuccine from scratch, I use fresh nutmeg. I grate it and I use it myself. You know, grate it up myself and do it. But for this dish, okay, just use the ground nutmeg already. Okay, now check our pasta, and it looked like should be just about ready to go. So I'm going to turn that off. Turn the pasta off. Now, for the sake of saving time, I already have some pasta made. So I'm going to take the ready-made pasta that I have here, and I'm going to add it directly to my chicken fettuccine. One of them just got away from me, guys. I know y'all saw that. But anyway, then that's what happens when you're cooking. So I'm going to add my pasta in there. And you don't have to just use chicken. You can use shrimp. Because I've had it with the shrimp and I love it. I love it with the shrimp. So just take your pasta, add it to your sauce, give it a few more minutes, and it's done. It is done. It is done. But remember, whenever you're dealing with chicken, you need to clean your sinks with bleach. Clean them down with bleach after you finish washing your chicken. And I did wash this chicken. I washed it in lemon and salt. You can also use vinegar and salt. And I rinsed mine off. That's just something that I do. So you don't have to, because like I said, that fajita chicken is already seasoned. But this, so I just did it because that's what I do. But you don't have to wash the fajita chicken. But if you buy regular chicken thighs, yes, indeed, wash them with either vinegar and salt or lemon and salt. Okay. Get all of this added in there. And this is your final pot. Your chicken fettuccine is done, Mom. And what I'm going to do too, this is done. So, and you can leave this sit in the sauce. If you like your pasta al dente, just turn it off. Let your chicken fettuccine sit in the sauce. Okay? Now, let's go over to the counter here. I've made garlic bread. And all I've done is taken some Italian bread, some take and bake Italian bread, and I've added some butter, and I've added a little bit of butter and some garlic seasoning. The same garlic seasoning that I put in the pasta. Let's bring this over here and put this in the oven, and for about 2 or 3 minutes, just long enough to melt the butter. Just long enough to melt the butter. And once that's done, you can have your broccoli. If you want broccoli, use the frozen broccoli, the broccoli in the bag, and you've got a meal. You've got a meal. So, this is Miss Bessie with IPA Eats. The next thing coming up on our menu, we're going to do fried apple pies that can be used for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or snack. So stay tuned. And I hope you enjoy this lovely meal. And you can mix any vegetable you want with it. Roasted vegetables, frozen vegetables, whatever. You can